Hello, hashtag Listen Fam. It's Callie Hendricks back with another episode of The Theatre. With me today, I have Thobeka Huna, a very special lady. Thobeka, welcome to the podcast. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you for the invite, and it's good to be here. I'm Thobeka Huna. I'm a healthcare professional.
Sure.
Now, I used to work for the Department of Health, but now I've ventured into business.
Sure.
Now, like I'm that nurse entrepreneur.
Come on, a nursepreneur.
Yes, a nursepreneur.
In one of my previous interviews, I actually had someone talk about being a nursepreneur, being a
Yes, of
speakerpreneur.
course.
So we love the entrepreneurs on
Yes.
this podcast. Tell me a bit about your journey. In what inspired the transition from being in the Department of Health into being on your own?
Okay. My journey thus far, it didn't just come from few years. It dates back from my early 20s actually,
Sure.
when I first registered a private practice. But then I realized Uguti, it comes with a whole lot of financial responsibility
Yes,
that I didn't have at that time.
Sure.
And also I had other responsibilities like mothering a baby, being a single parent at that time with 3 kids. It was
Sure.
so difficult to
Yeah.
venture into business straight without having a backup
Yeah.
financially. So now I just pegged the idea for some time and said, okay, in my heart, I was like, God, I know there will come a time because you know this is what I want deep down in my heart. So maybe later on in life, but I didn't know when.
Yes. Yes.
And then that's where it stopped. I pegged it and then I continued in my career as a professional nurse, starting from the basic. Junior nurse, senior nurse, chief professional nurse, and I went through the ranks
Yeah.
to the provincial office in Free State, where I worked for most of my time. And then from there, I even went to work for NGOs.
Sure.
So I do have experience, public and private.
Yes. Sure.
And through the years, as the years went by, I even went into managerial position in the Department of Health. And then I came to learn so much.
Sure.
I gained so much experience practically. So I also went to learn further, went to University of Free State, later on went to the University of Pretoria to learn more about things in management, nursing education. I even specialized in primary health care.
Sure.
Because primary health care is where my
Mostly.
passion is.
Yes,
That's
yes.
what I like mostly because I like keeping people healthy.
Yeah.
Prevention is better than cure.
Cure, sure.
That is what we are saying
Sure.
all the time. So this is a long-term goal
Yeah.
that it's now taking shape.
Sure.
And now when it happened this time, it was like, I didn't expect it.
Yes.
But it just came and I said, okay, I think God is now ordering my steps.
Yes, definitely. Everything in the right time.
At the right time,
Yeah.
everything just falls into
Sure,
place.
that's powerful. How has your experience in both the as a medical professional and now as a business owner shaped your approach to patient care?
Yes. The medical side is very easy because it's something that I've grown into for a long time.
It's what you love.
But now the business side is the one that I'm
Yes,
still juggling
yes.
because when you are sitting there, you think Ukuti is easy venturing into business until you are there and you see
Yeah.
Ukuti, there's so much things that I can do. There's so much things that you have to learn. And I must say, sometimes it feels overwhelming.
Yeah.
But because of there's a lot of assistance out there, then it is doable.
Yeah, sure. So obviously managing a private clinic by yourself, and then there's also patients that need to be cared for. How do you find the balance between the two, and then making sure that your patients get the best care?
Okay. The idea going forward is not for me to be working in my clinic. The idea is for me to be working on my clinic to see what the management side of the clinic
Yes,
is going
yes.
on. But because of constraint of finances here and there. Now I find myself having to build everything from scratch. Now I find myself seeing clients, and I find myself also having to do the whole management thing. But at this moment, it is still doable because I still don't have a lot of clients because my clinic is pretty new. It's only now on its first anniversary.
Sure.
So I'm still growing.
Yes,
But
yes.
there will come a time now whereby I see Uguti, I need to get somebody on board. Luckily, we can now employ somebody to be part of the team. Luckily, you can also have someone to do locums for you, so that you can now balance between your life and the clinic and the business side of things.
And all of that is important. I mean, you mentioned that you have 3 kids, so you're still a mom.
I'm still a mom, but they are grown-ups.
Okay,
luckily,
they're grown-ups luckily now.
Yes, luckily they are grown-ups,
Sure.
and luckily now I can also now ask for some advices from them to say, how do I do that? And they are so helpful.
Okay, that's amazing. You see how you needed to wait.
I needed
you needed to wait
I
until
needed to
the right time to have that support. What are some of the challenges that you've come across in trying to deliver exceptional patient care and managing the demands of running a business?
Okay. The challenges mostly is that the business at the moment, I think on the marketing side, I'm still not strong on that side. I'm still building up to that. So you find that Uguti, I'm still having sporadic clientele. It's not something that is straight every day, but it is growing because you can see Uguti, there's a lot of word of mouth that is going. There is not a day that goes by without me having a new client in the facility. That tells you Uguti, the word of mouth does go there. And also in your social media platforms, people get to know the information about the clinic. So now I think that is also helping me.
How do you ensure that patient care remains your focus in your day-to-day running of the business and administration? How do you make sure that your patients get the best of you?
Actually, that is the number one, because how you provide your service is the one that will make you stand out at the end of the day. So my clients are my priority, and I make sure when they come, they get individualized care according to their needs, because no 2 clients are the same, or no 2 problems in a facility are the same. So I try to make it individual, the care or the service that I give to my clinic. So my clients are happy so far, and they give a lot of feedback, because also they hear from the other ones that are referring them to say, how is the service?
That's great. Providing consistent, high quality care is essential, especially in your industry, in the healthcare industry. So what strategies do you use to maintain the standard across your clinic?
Okay, that side it's lucky we have our SOPs, we have our guidelines, we have our policies that guides us as the health profession what to do. So on top of that, you also have your one-on-one with your clients. They tell you feedbacks, and then you also give them like, for example, their satisfaction surveys. They can tell you how the service is, and you also can do something like maybe peer review with other colleagues also. Sure. There's a lot actually that you can do around that area.
And how does all of that feedback help you, or what role does it play in improving?
Yeah, it is very important for you to know how your clinic is spending, because it gives you also that confidence that you are on the right track. It also gives you that thing about I'm doing the right thing actually, because people are satisfied about the service that I'm giving. And when you see them coming back, it even gives you that smile to say, yeah, indeed, I have this. And if they can talk to someone else about it, then you know, definitely.
Sure. Okay, so you mentioned that you are alone at the clinic at the moment. So what plans do you have for expansion in the future?
Okay. Any business would like to have, I think for me, I would love to have more than 5 people on board
Yeah.
to do different roles. At the moment, I have someone that is assisting me because it's just a student that I'm given, so they are doing their practicals. So now and then they came. So luckily, I can give them some admin work also to help there, and then it gives a sort of relief also somewhere. But I would like to have a full-fledged staff at the clinic, whereby the clinic has to function even if I'm not there.
Come on.
Because the downside of owning a clinic and doing things alone is that when you are not there, everything comes to a standstill. And now it's not being a business person as such now when the business does not make money when you are there. Remember, the purpose is that even if you are not there, the business must make money. So I am dreaming now of getting to that stage whereby the business will make money even if I'm not there.
Okay, what principles or leadership principles are you applying in this stage in working towards having a team?
You know, I haven't started yet because simply of financial constraints. Because the first thing that I must consider before my wishes is that if I bring somebody on board, I must be able to pay their check at the end of the day. So if I'm still now constrained in that area, then I keep it on hold until that time I can say, okay,
I'm ready for this.
I'm ready for that, because at the moment, everything that I'm doing it out of my own. There's no funding yet, or there's no any financial sponsor that I'm looking forward to say, okay, I can use that for that. Everything still I'm doing your own pocket.
Well, that is it's a powerful testimony, you know, to be able to say I funded a clinic, and I am doing that myself as a woman. I'm doing it by myself. It's a powerful testimony. It's something you can really be proud of, you know, even going forward. I think it requires strong leadership in itself.
They say it's small beginnings but humble beginnings, whereby one day when you stand and look back, you will say, you know, people didn't know that I started with 2 chairs. I started with one stethoscope or one thermometer, and that's where I am today. So for me, at the same time, it is fun, and at the same time, it is that thing of one day I'm going to remember always where I come from. And I think that is what will keep me in business, is to say, for where I am today, I was not here yesterday. So that is what keeps me going every day, to say, but God, yesterday I was not here. Every day there's a step going forward.
I'm actually reminded of a scripture that says, though my beginnings are small, so great my end shall be. So one day when you're standing there, you'll be able to look back and say, but I started here. I didn't have much, but look at where I am now. So that's really powerful.
And one other thing, remember that in South Africa, it is not that common that nurses have their own practices. Most of the time is doctors. It's only now that it starts to gain momentum in other provinces, especially in Gauteng, in Western Cape. But in Northern Cape, it's still new. So even clients out there, they don't know about it. That a nurse can own a private practice and they can come just like they are going to a doctor or what. It's still a small thing in Northern Cape. But with other provinces, they are now starting to grasp, I can go to Sister X. She's owning a clinic. I can do all my healthcare needs at that clinic. So it's something that is still growing, but I think I will grow with it as it grows in Northern Cape.
Tell me and our listeners a bit about that. What would then be the differences? Like what would I come to you for as opposed to going to a GP?
Okay. I'm doing primary healthcare. I'm a primary healthcare specialist. Meaning that all the services package that you find at a clinic, you can find at my practice. The only difference is that at the clinic, you are not paying, and then this one, because it's a private practice, then there is a small fee to pay. But the fees are very affordable because I'm doing it this way. There is this clientele that I'm catering for. There are people that don't necessarily have medical aids, but they are working, they do have an income. They can pay for their health needs. So,
yeah.
yes. So it's not everybody that goes to public sector that is not having money to pay for it.
Yes.
The only reason is that most people don't even have medical aid. So they end up going to public sector for their services. Though they can pay a little of money. But
Yes.
because there are no private nurse practitioners, then they end up being at the public clinics.
Yes.
Now, that overloads the system. Because remember, already as it is, the health sector, public health sector, is catering for over 80% of the population.
Sure.
That is why our clinics are forever overloaded
Yes.
and full. And that compromises also the service. And the resources are constrained also. So now having people that can pay sitting there, it relieves the system a bit to say, okay, there is a private clinic and it's affordable, I can pay my own services.
Sure.
Yeah. And I also see something on their faces if they realize, oh, is it so cheap? I can pay actually for my own service. And then it gives them also that pride to say they can afford their healthcare services.
Sure.
And they can use the services like without waiting long because there are no long queues there to wait.
Yes.
And mainly I'm working on appointment basis.
Yeah.
So you book your time, you get your service, you go.
Sure. No, that's a relief. I didn't know that.
Yes.
So that helps a lot. Now, the healthcare industry is consistently evolving. How do you, being a private clinic owner, stay informed about new trends and new technologies and techniques that are coming out? And how do you decide which ones to leave and which ones you can apply in your practice?
Okay. Like I said, other provinces already, they are having now many healthcare professionals that are doing it private. So there are groups on social media, community groups that are doing health things. You join in those groups. There are also those professional bodies whereby you can join, like, for example, Society for Healthcare Professionals that are doing private practices. So that is sort of support at the same time. And they also help you with information.
Sure.
Because remember, some of us, we don't have experience in this. But because of those groups, every day you learn something. There's somebody who will ask a question. You will ask a question. It's like if you get stuck, you just ask in the group the question and then the answer comes. So you also educate yourself continuously. Because we have this CPD point thing, which is continuous professional development, whereby you have to register online for courses, whereby you have to attend symposiums, workshops, or whatever. And luckily nowadays, the Society for Private Practitioners, they are hosting all those things. They are calling in all the specialists. They are even liaising for us, even with the nursing council and all those things. So all those new rules, regulations, and what that comes on, they come and then they share them with us in the groups, and they call now and then workshops, and then we go around the provinces, depending on how is the schedule for the year.
And that also empowers you
that
as a
empowers
business owner.
And also it makes you feel like, as much as this business thing is lonely, ne?
Definitely.
This business line is very lonely. You are alone there. You are in Northern Cape. There's no other people that you know. It's like, so it's lonely. But now, because of these communities, health communities that we have, that are assisting us, then you can see, okay, I can now breathe. There's someone that support. I can, there's some support. They do support us very much.
No, that's great. So what advice would you give someone another healthcare professional that is looking to sustain and grow their private practice, especially in our region that has limited resources?
Okay. I would say, if you want to stay in business and sustain the business, one thing that is consistency. You have to be consistent. You have to be skilled. You have to be abreast with the new developments and stuff, so that you don't fall off the road. Know what to do, because our people also, they read a lot. they Google a lot. They come to you knowing.
Said Dr. Google said.
Yes, there's Dr. Google out there. So people come to you knowing already. Now, sometimes it becomes like, I'm coming to test your knowledge. Do you know about this? Do you know? And if they see Uguti, you don't know much, also it increases their confidence in you. But once you can stand there and be the expert in your field and give them the information, because remember also, mostly in primary healthcare, what I do mostly is education.
Sure.
Because I have to empower my client in order that they can take good care of their health.
Sure.
To stay healthy all the time. Otherwise, knowledge is power. If they are not knowledgeable, they will not be able to do the right thing.
Yes.
And also, why I give them a lot of information is to help myself also. Because if they do the right thing, it makes also my job
easier. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So many of our listeners are small to medium enterprise owners, you know. What advice would you offer them, especially those ones who's balancing the dual responsibility of service delivery on one hand and business management on the other hand?
Yeah. At the moment, because I'm also a small one.
Yes.
I'm also a small fish in this pond. But I would say, like, never give up. Never give up. Days are not the same. There are those heavy days where you feel good today as if like, God, I'm stagnant. I don't know if I'm going or I'm coming. But that thing that caused you to start, it must keep you going.
Yeah.
If you remember why you started in the first place,
sure,
then that keeps you going.
Yes, sure, that's powerful.
Yes.
Are there any key resources or mentors or experiences that have been instrumental in your success in managing patient care and on the business side?
Yeah, I had mentors in clinical aspect all the years of my career. I've met them at different levels.
Sure.
And then mentoring to me also has become something that is big because I've seen Uguti, what did it do for me?
Yeah.
So I also continue mentoring others.
Yeah.
Because I know Uguti, with mentoring, everyone can do better.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, that's powerful. What do you think is essential for long-term growth and sustainability in the healthcare industry?
Healthcare is a need. That will forever be there. We will always have people that are in need of care.
Yeah.
The only thing is that whatever that you give to the communities, do it in such a way that they will always come back.
Sure.
If they need some help.
Yeah.
If they need services, they know exactly where they go.
Yeah.
Service delivery is key.
Yeah.
Excellent one.
Sure. Yeah. And when we look at specifically where we are in Kimberley in the Northern Cape, what changes would you like to see in the healthcare space?
Okay. In the healthcare space, what I would like to see mostly, I would like to see more of integration between the public sector and the private sector, whereby we work together as a team, whereby I know Guti, there are no barriers, especially for clients to go the referral way to and fro to come back. I'm free as a private practitioner to say I can use any service that is outside there, whether it's public or whether it's private, because healthcare is continuity. We continue with the client. Wherever I left, someone can continue.
Sure. What legacy do you hope to leave in the healthcare field?
Yeah. That one is my heart.
Sure.
I've already started. You know, in the healthcare field or in life in general, you see yourself as a productive person when you see other people that you have groomed growing up.
Sure.
Or when you can look back and see the leaders that you have groomed.
Sure.
So I think I've done that already throughout my career pathing. I've done that. I've left some traces behind until I'm here. And I would love to leave that legacy. Uguti, nurses, they do their thing the way they are supposed to.
Sure.
Nurses become strong. Nurses drive their vision. Nurses run their businesses. Because in the olden days, we didn't know what we can do it
that.
independently like we do it
Yes.
now. Now we are allowed to do it. And there are, like, for example, legal people even, who can help us to do it legally and correctly so that you comply to every area in your clinic.
Yes.
So things have become easily nowadays because of the so many communities and the so many integration throughout the health sector, being doctors, nurses, allied health workers, but somewhere, somehow, there is collaboration and working together. So that thing makes it easier.
Sure, that's amazing. How can our listeners contact you and learn more about your clinic?
Okay.
Where do we find you?
They can find me on my, the cell phone number is 073 185 3006. Now there they can send either a WhatsApp message or a call, but mostly I prefer a WhatsApp message so that I can respond later, because with calls sometimes I'm busy with a client, then I cannot answer. But with a message, it's easier because after I've done everything, I can sit back and then look at the message and respond wherever when I need to respond. And also they can follow us on Facebook, Bophelo Pele Clinic.
Yes.
Bophelo Pele Clinic.
Okay, great.
Bophelo Pele is simply life first.
Sure.
You have to be alive and healthy.
Come on.
First.
Yes.
Before you can do any other thing. You can have money, but when you are lying in hospital, in your bed, in your sick bed, you can't go out and draw your money at the bank and do whatever you want to do.
Sure.
But when you are healthy, then you can do anything. That is why I say life first. Because if we pursue to have a good, healthy life, then it means the rest we can achieve easily.
Yes, sure. That's powerful. Is there any final message that you'd like to share with those who are striving to turn their dreams into a reality like you did?
Yeah, the message that I would like to share with them is that it is possible. All things are possible.
Sure.
Yeah, through Christ who strengthens us. Sometimes you feel lonely. Sometimes you feel you can't do it. Sometimes you feel it's overwhelming, but it is doable.
Sure.
Everything is possible. You just have to set your mind into doing it. And nowadays, it's lucky because you can ask anything over the social media or over
accessible.
the Google. Information is accessible.
Sure.
It's just for you to go out there and find out more. And those little bits and pieces that you get when you're asking, when you look at the end of the day, you have a complete puzzle.
Yeah.
Then you go forward.
You just need to get up. Thobeka, thank you so much for joining us here on the #Listen podcast. I definitely learned some new things about the healthcare sector, and I'm sure our listeners can take away a lot more from this conversation. That brings us to the end of another episode of The Theatre. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please remember to like this video and share it with your friends. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on our Facebook page to stay up to date with all of our new guests. Thank you so much for watching.